everybody, and welcome into another edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS-TV from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin. We've reached the semifinals of our final ladder series of the year as we look for that final participant in our Tournament of Champions at the end of the year. And Steve Vadney, impressive thus far in 2 wins.
He has indeed. Last week, 439 with a 173 string. Did he save enough for Danny Harris this week? We'll find out here in the next 60 minutes.
A veteran of 100 times on television, taking on one of the young up-and-coming stars in Candlepin bowling. Let's meet our combatants this afternoon. First, winner of 2 matches, our number 5 seed from Claremont, New Hampshire. Say hello to Steve Vadney.
Steve Vadney's average at 129. His high single is 197, a 488 high triple. Bowls at Sunset Lanes in Newport.
Beat Mark Gregory by 3 pins, and last week defeated Sean Baker by 40 pins with a 439 triple. And his opponent this week, our number 2 seed from Dorchester, Massachusetts. Let's welcome Danny Harris.
We saw him for 4 weeks in a row. 1 year ago at this time, just prior to the Tournament of Champions, beaten by Tommy Ulster. 122 average, high single 186, high triple is 443. Does his bowling at Lucky Strike Lanes in Dorchester.
Danny, 671 earned him the number 2 seed in this ladder series. It's Steve Vadney and Danny Harris. Let's get right to it. We're coming back with this afternoon's match right after this on WNDS-TV's Candlepin Stars and Strikes. World, a couple have been eliminated by Steve Vadney as he ousted Mark Gregory and Sean Baker. And now it's Danny Harris, the number 2 seed, with Chris Sargent waiting in the wings, and it'll be Steve Vadney first to bowl here this afternoon at Leda Lanes in Nashua. A terrific performance last week by Steve, a 439 to Sean Baker's 399. Big payday as well. He had $200 in bonus money and another $50 for having the high string in the match, so $250 pocketed by Steve Vadney. Sean Baker made off with $125 himself in a losing effort, in addition to his consolation prize money. Here's Vadney looking for the spare. Almost made a great shot. During the course of the match, we'll be getting to your cards, letters, and emails. More and more of the correspondence coming in via email, which is fine. We'll show you our email address a bit later on during the course of the telecast. And there it is, as a matter of fact. Speak of the devil, bowling at WNDS.com. There's Steve Vadney looking for his first mark. The wood outside, well, it's squared away, which I think makes it a little bit easier.
Hit it maybe
right on the stripe. Yep. And there it is. So Vadney picks up the spare. He had a terrific string last week in the middle of the match, a 173, which is just outstanding. He finished with 7 consecutive marks. And here's young Danny Harris, the 19-year-older from Dorchester. Danny had a pretty good run.
Yeah, 4 weeks in a row, as a matter of fact. Last year at this time. Made it to the championship round from the number 5 seed, beaten by Tommy Ulster 400 to 371 last April 7th.
Danny starts off with an 8 box. A very exciting young bowler. Really attacks the pins. Right on the Brooklyn side, and he's got a shot at it here with the 3-6-10. I remember last time Danny was on, he brought all of Dorchester here, didn't he?
He did again today.
And Danny's going to miss the spare this time around. The 10-pin refused to move. So that'll be a 10 box for Danny Harris, and the early lead goes to Steve Vadney with a mark.
Seems Danny Harris is usually on sometime around St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, missed it by a couple of weeks this year, but close enough.
Why, you think Danny Harris from Dorchester just might have a little Irish blood in him? Maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going out on a limb to think that, I suppose. 6 fill for the second frame spare from Steve Vadney.
I think that red hair is a little bit of a giveaway. And an 8 box for Steve. Steve Vadney, in case you've missed the last couple of weeks, is 51 years old. He's a senior lead person at Sturm Ruger in Newport, one of the leading small arms manufacturers in the nation. He and Annette have been married for 30 years. Jennifer is 27, a graduate of Bryant College. And 24-year-old Steve works on the Boston stock market, training to be a trader, and he's here in attendance here this afternoon. And another mark for Steve Vadney. Danny Harris, 19 years old, from Dorchester, half Worcester on the right side. He works for Santangelo Flooring in Dorchester. Attended high school in Boston. Aside from his mom and dad, he has a brother, Chris, and a sister, Shelley. And Danny with a 7-box, so he's off to a little bit of a rough start, falling behind early.
Up against a spare in the 4th frame with Vadney.
He's the youngest bowler to be on the show since Michael and I have been doing the show since 1997.
He is how old, did you say?
19.
19 years old.
Danny almost made the shot. So he'll be open through 4. And a 10-box. So Steve Vadney with a couple of marks in the early going has the early lead.
Well, that's going to be a tough one for him, the 4, 5, 7, 8. And there is some wood off to the left of the 5-pin, to the right of the 5-pin. How helpful it'll be? Not at all. Not going to use it. So a 58.5 for Steve Vadney, giving Danny Harris a little ray of hope, who's only got 35 through the 4th box.
Got a note from Jim Graham, who doesn't put his address in, but a nice note. And he used to be a pin boy 60 years ago in Cambridge. He says at the time it was a very painful job because you get hit with pins and balls. He's now 75 years old, and some of the pins were stacked for a bowler, so if they hit the head pin, they'd get a strike or get a mark. Now, they wouldn't do that intentionally, would they, Michael?
No. But you're saying this man is indicating that the pins could be set a certain way, like racking up the cue balls, the billiard balls, etc. I bet there was some of that shenanigans going on when there were humans setting pins.
He also was nice enough to send along a prayer for firefighters involved in the 9/11 tragedy. He says he's been sending that prayer out to people all over the place since the incident occurred, and we thank him for that. If you'd like to send us a letter through the mail, it's WNDS 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire, 03038. Danny Harris remains open, looking for his first mark. If you'd like to be a participant on Candlepin Stars and Strikes, there's the way for you to do it. The bonus ball contest after every match gives you a chance, as our winning bowler will bowl a ball. We'll pull a postcard out of the bin. And there's the address to send the postcard. Leda Lane, 340 Amherst Street in Nashua, 03063. This could go for Danny. He needs a break. We had a cash winner last week of $30, so we're back to $10 in the pool, and Danny with a 10-box. He remains open. And Steve Vadney with a chance to really open up some daylight here. 3 marks in the string for Vadney to none for Danny Harris. Right through the middle, a 4 in the spare with a spread eagle. So while he's had 3 marks to Danny Harris's none, he really hasn't been able to take advantage dramatically. Watch out, they're still moving around.
236 is still there, piece of wood just past the 2-pin.
And that'll be a 9-box. 81. Through 7 for Steve Vadney. Almost had the whole back row still standing. The 7 and the 8. The 7 continues to wobble.
He'd like the piece of wood to roll a little bit further back, probably.
One way or the other.
Yeah, make a commitment here.
He'll take the spare right there. That's every other box a mark for Steve Vadney. So lane 33 has been kind to him. Danny Harris needs a mark. Right on the head pin, but look at what he's left with.
Split after split for young Danny Harris out of Dorchester, Mass. 19 years of age. Terrific young bowler.
Will he make it? He cut it too fine. That pin went in front of the 4-pin. 9 box.
19 pins behind through completed boxes. That's 7 frames. He'll be up against a spare in the 8th from Steve Vadney.
Breaks up the split finally. And the wood falls off the channel. There's a piece of wood that's not good. He'd like that wood to roll off.
It's going.
There it goes.
There you
Gives
go.
him a clear shot at it. Now he's got to stay on the lane and not hit the wood. The spare for Danny Harris. First mark of the string and a big smile on the face of Danny Harris as he walks back. Now Steve Vadney, who has 4 marks and 8 frames. Every other box a mark for Steve Vadney. Well, he leaves himself a split. So lane 34 has been the tough lane for him. Put 6 in the spare. Right off the wood. Watch out. It's not going to come over far enough. So again, open on lane 34. And a 10 box. 107 through 9. And he moves over to lane 33 where he's had nothing but marks. Right on the head pin. There it is again. Look at that. Isn't that unusual? Every other box.
Well, he'll finish the 10th frame, not only this game, but in the 3rd game as well, just in case that trend continues. Chance to make some bonus money here with a couple of, well, he'd need 3 strikes.
That'd be pretty good bonus money. $550 in the triple strike jackpot. It's off the head pin. Another ball to fill the strike. And that's just going to be a 4-pin fill in the strike and a 121 first string for Steve Vadney, not able to take advantage of 5 marks in the string. He had fills of 6, 6, 4, 6, and 4 in his marks. Here's Danny Harris trying to come back now. Puts 9 in the spare. Right there, 2 marks in a row for Danny Harris.
He just goes right at him. The 7-pin last frame and the 10-pin this time. No hesitation, right at him.
Bonus money situation for Danny if he can put a mark on the board here. Right on the head pin. Will it go? It wobbles, but it stands up. That's the 6-pin. Piece of wood behind it, I think, is touching it. So he's got 3 marks in a row. $50 in bonus money.
If he throws a strike, he loses by 1 pin. He was 19 pins down at the worst point and has now made almost all of it back.
His fills are 9-9, which makes a big difference. And now on the spare, off the head pin. Just put 4 in the mark. And a 114 first string for Danny Harris. A 7-pin lead for Steve Vadney over Danny Harris. We're headed to string number 2 when we come back to lead. Danny Harris ready to lead us off in our 2nd string, trailing Steve Vadney. He finished the 1st string red hot. Starts the 2nd string red hot.
Single pin, gets the 7. Boy, he's good on those single pins. I think he made 3 of them last game. In fact, 3 in a row that you saw. His first marks of the game to pull him within 7 after being down 19. Still looking for his first strike, however. That can't be too far away the way he's peppering the head pin very nicely. 610 now with an 8 fill on his first frame spare.
He's right there. Boy, he's radar on those
Nice
1 and 2 pin spares. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin. Happy to have you with us for Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Our crew working today's game, our director is Kevin LaFond. Our engineer is Keith Webb. Our camera crew of Jonathan Elias, Dean Zanello, and Kevin Sheehan. Don Cronin's on replays, and Cheryl Sylvia is on graphics. Alex Kalistoff is handling audio. They all make it possible for you all to watch the best Candlepin bowlers in the world each week on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Steve Vadney with a 10 box.
And that will put him a pin behind now in completed frames.
That's a good Brooklyn side hit, and look what's left, the 7 and the 9 with no wood. Looked like a pretty good pocket shot, didn't it?
That was a great shot. It's right where you want to stuff it.
And he'll take them one at a time, picks up the 7 pin, and now he'll go after the 9. That'll be a 9 box for Steve Vadney. So Danny Harris a chance to take the lead here. And if you'd like to write us and send the letter through the mail, there's the mailing address, WNDS TV, 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire, 03038. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know how far and wide you are and watching our broadcast as Danny Harris picks up another $50 in bonus money.
He's a very fast bowler, too. Got a good rhythm going, and he's leaving now a 3-pin set, 3, 5, and 9.
Well, we know a lot of people in New England watch our show each and every week. Well, Danny's going to miss that one. We're told that a lot of people tape the shows and send them all over the country to friends and relatives who've moved hither and yon. And we'd like to hear from you, those of you who receive the tapes. Let us know where you are, and we'll remember you to the folks back home. Steve Vadney off the head pin. Breaks up the 4 horsemen, and even more than that, he's left with the 1 and the 10 with plenty of wood. Well, so the key here is hitting the head pin.
Hit the head pin anywhere, preferably on the right-hand side.
Missed the head pin. Look at that.
No.
No, that was the key to the shot.
Yep. So he's got 3 opens against 3 spares against Danny Harris. And he's behind in a hurry.
Absolutely. Danny takes the lead. And a pretty good size lead. Well, Steve right on the head pin, 2 full, straight ahead it goes, spread eagle +1. The 9 pin behind the 3 pin. And 8 box for Steve Vadney. We go to the break, and it's a lead of 37 pins for, check it, we'll get the score straight in a minute as Danny Harris is going to sit down. We're going to go to the break, and we'll get the total. Danny Harris ready to bowl. He has a lead of 21 pins over Steve Vadney as we near the halfway point of this match. This is the semifinal match of our final ladder series of the season as we look for someone to fill the final spot in our Tournament of Champions. 6 qualifiers ultimately will participate in the Tournament of Champions. We have some great bowlers lined up for our Tournament of Champions coming up at the end of the year. Here's a 10 box for Danny Harris.
Well, Tournament of Champions so far will be headed by Jeff Surratt. Mike Morgan so far number 2. Chris Bovair, who won it a couple years ago, is 3rd. Bob Whitcomb is the 4th seed. Gary Carrington at number 5.
Well, he broke up the split, but he still has, well, I won't say it's impossible, but it ain't easy. He's got a piece of wood sticking up there on the left, Michael. He might even go after that one. He is. That's the shot. A great shot by Danny Harris. It was just sticking halfway out of the gutter. You know, you're not going to see it. You just can't see it from there because that piece of wood was out of your view. but a little tip of it was sticking up on the lane, which made it playable. Now Steve Vadney looking for his first mark of the second string. It won't be there as he struggles after a 121 first string. 9 box, 45 half for Steve Vadney.
Last 2 weeks, 379 and 439. So this has by far been his most difficult week so far.
Michael Robert Walsh from Fitchburg, Mass. is a frequent writer to the program, and he writes in with a question about the regulation bowling balls, and maybe we can clarify it, maybe not. We can give it a shot. He says one night he was watching David Letterman as Steve Vadney makes the spare, his first mark of the string. Watching Letterman in his Will It Float segment, he had an 8-pound bowling ball dropped into the tank, and he and his crew started arguing about whether it was regulation for 10 pins. And he says that, Michael, since you are well versed in both 10 pins and duck pins, can you clarify the regulation size and weight of each and compare them to the specs for candlepins?
Well, you know, I think we may have addressed this some time ago.
Oh, great shot by Danny Harris. Watch this one. Terrific shot. Played the right side of the pin. The pin spun into the 5. The 5 went into the 7. The ball took out the 10. Great shot. But unfortunately, he only puts 5 in the spare.
All right, I have the answer to your question. The 10-pin ball, maximum weight is 16 pounds. Duck pin, 3 pounds, 12 ounces is the max. And candlepins, 2 pounds, 7 ounces. So there's your answer. A regulation bowling ball, though, at 8 pounds is regulation for 10-pin. I think they go as low as 6 pounds and all the way to 16.
But are there different weight balls in duck pin and candlepin, or are they all the same?
Oh, sure. Candlepin balls don't vary too much from 2.7. They might go down to 2 pounds, 2 ounces, 2 pounds, 3 ounces. What happens, though, a lot of the bowling balls that you might see at your local professional bowling center are, oh, my.
There's a strike for Steve Vadney. For a while, I thought that pin was going to move about 6 inches and stay up. Watch it again. Watch that pin slide at the end. There it goes. It comes up, and it stands upright and then falls over again. Vadney looking for another mark. He gets him dancing again.
And he's pushed the 5-pin closer to the 3 and the 6, and that's good. Less chance that he'll chop it right out of the middle or either side. Very helpful.
Bonus money shot here. There it is. $50 in bonus money for Steve Vadney.
So to answer your question, bowling balls aren't all exactly the same weight. There is a little variance. You can also order them at specific weights if you feel that helps your game.
Danny Harris missed the head pin, but he's got a pretty good lead. You saw the website for Leda Lanes. If you are surfing the net and want to check out what's going on here at Leda Lanes, there's the website, LedaLanes.org. And a spare for Danny Harris in the 9th frame. Find out more about what's going on at Leda Lanes, leagues and open bowling and roll-offs for television. All the information is there. Danny Harris will put 7 in the spare. He's at 133 through 9. Tough shot here, though. He's at 140. He had a 114 in the first string. 142 for Danny Harris in the second string, and a 2-string total of 256. Steve Vadney now working on 3 marks in a row. Looking to get back into the match and to get some more bonus money. Right in the pocket. Good shot. 8 pins in the spare and a good spare opportunity.
As we've told you the last couple of weeks, Steve Vadney has won 3 consecutive Senior Professional Candlepin Bowling Association Tour stops.
Another $25 in bonus money for Steve Vadney. 4 marks in a row. It's amazing how it works. He went the first 5 without any semblance of a mark, without even coming close. Now he's got 4 marks in a row. Right on the head pin. Well, that could go. It could take the other one. Ooh, it just missed the 7-pin.
What a great break that was. He's got the single pin now instead of the 2-7 split. And no wood to get in the way. Nice clean shot.
Another $25 in bonus money. It's going to be a tight match going to the third string.
If he strikes, it's a tie game. And he'll be back to a 7-pin lead again that he took into this game.
It's going to be 6-7 in the mark. A 139. And we have a 4-pin lead in the match for Steve Vadney over Danny Harris as Harris wins the second string by 3. A 4-pin lead overall for Vadney heading to the third and final string. As we come back for Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, and the conclusion of Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Steve Vadney with a 4-pin lead over Danny Harris will be first to bowl in our third string. Terrific bowling in the second string by both bowlers. 6 marks for Danny Harris, 5 marks for Steve Vadney. Vadney's 5 marks came in the last 5 boxes. He had a 94 second half. And he starts off with a 7 box. Just rechecking my math. A 94 second half for Steve Vadney.
What do you have for the first half?
45.
Wow. So he better than doubled his first half production in the second half.
Yep. 5 marks in a row in the second half of the string. Steve right on the head pin that time and chopping through. This is a game of inches or millimeters or centimeters or whatever.
Aggravation?
That's part of it. He will be open through the first 2 boxes of the third string. And it's an 8 box.
Runner-up today gets $550. The winner goes into the championship round for that final spot of the Tournament of Champions ladder. Next week's bowler is Chris Sargent. Terrific bowler from the Haverhill area.
Danny Harris punches through. Can he break up the split? No, he cannot, but he's got a piece of wood on the right, which is, well, it's going to square up. I was going to say that he might have been better off if it stayed at an angle. I think the piece of wood on the left is frozen. Oh, he played that pin and popped it over. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? It was a great try by Danny Harris. That's a 10 box. I wouldn't have played it that way, but it looked like he knows what he was doing.
I hear everybody buzzing back here. All the old-timers saying, oh, I can't believe he did that.
He popped that pin right over there.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Danny, again, can he break up the split? Yes, he can. 6, 9, and 10 on the right side. No wood to help out.
This game is nearly even.
Spare for Danny Harris.
So he'll take the lead by just a few sticks.
Steve Vadney now finds himself needing a mark. Danny Harris leads by 1 plus a ball. Steve on the head pin. Breaks up the split. 5 pin still stands. What is that wood going to do? Well, he's got a clear shot right at it. Should become somewhat academic. And he plays the spare.
Even steer the ball a little bit to the left to avoid capping the one piece of wood that was to the right, which may have deflected the ball totally. So it was kind of a risky shot, but he pulled it off.
First mark of the string for Steve Vadney. Missed the head pin. Half Worcester. 2-pin filled. That can be a killer. Right on the head pin. Oh, look at that. The 4 and the 7 both moved off spot. And it will be a 9 box. Consolation prizes given away on our bonus ball contest are provided by N&R Trophies of Winchendon, Massachusetts. There's Danny Harris on the head pin. Danny puts 8 in the mark.
Piece of wood to help him out there right against 6-pin.
There you see the phone number for N&R, and here's another mark for Danny Harris. 978-297-0712 for N&R Trophies, 310 Maple Street, Winchendon, Massachusetts. Danny looking for some bonus money. Breaks up the split, got a break. The 7-pin stands.
Slowly pulling away now from Steve Vadney like he did last game until Vadney pulled it up again and won the game.
$50 in bonus money, $150 in bonus money in the match. As we go to the break, Danny Harris works on a mark, and he has the lead over Steve Vadney with 6 boxes remaining. Don't go away. We're coming back. Steve Vadney ready to go. Trailing Danny Harris by 17 pins and a ball. Vadney needs to start scoring, and he was right on the head pin, but he punched it right through the middle. Broke up the spread eagle, but he's got a tough shot here. 2-4-7 on the right, 3 on the left. Played the wood and tried to make something out of nothing, and almost did. $10 for Vadney. He needs marks now. He needs one right here for sure. And he's got a good chance right here. Well, the piece of wood backed off and is not going to help him. The piece of wood on the right's not going to help him, I don't think.
Not really, now that it's squared with the lip of the lane right there on the deck.
I think they want Paul to go down and take a look at it.
Oh, it's not even close to being out.
Oh, he's just waiting for a ball to come back.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing. Steve Vadney needs a mark badly. Played the wood. Not going to get it. And that'll be a 10 box.
Time is running out for Steve Vadney, winner of the last 2 weeks worth of bowling against Mark Gregory and Sean Baker.
Danny Harris on the pocket. Look at this.
His ball sweeps so quickly, sometimes from left to right, that it just grazes the head pin and doesn't take much with it. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9.
He tried to play the right side of the wood as far to the right as he could, and he missed it. He wanted to sweep that wood across, and he'll end up with an 8 box. Danny's going to be open again. And a 10 box, great 10 box. Impossible 10 box. A 20-pin lead for Danny Harris with 4 boxes remaining. Steve Vadney needs to mark. That's somewhat of an understatement. But he's running out of boxes, needs to mark right here. At least one of these 2 boxes. He threw a pretty good ball.
Just like last week, he poured it on right at the end.
He needed that badly, and he could use another one. Watch it again. This is kind of in slow motion. Got the head pin real thin. Head pin bounced off the wall and came back, kicked the 2 back in, and then goes the 5-pin. He needs another one. He's right on the head pin. Breaks up the split. Well, everything's moving, but nothing's going to fall. He's got the 2, 4, and 7. If the wood is frozen, then it makes it a little bit easier. He's got the wood to hit. He hit the wood up top. He hit the top of the wood. Not what he wanted to do. And it's a 9 box.
That hurts.
Hurts a lot. Just about. Well, you never say never, but it's very difficult to come back from this. Danny Harris picked the pin. He'll be open.
So that
A
makes
breath
it
of life.
about a 10-pin difference.
10 box for Danny Harris. He continues to pin well. And if you like to bowl, why not give Leda Lanes a shot? 340 Amherst Street, Nashua, exit 7 west off the Everett Turnpike coming from the south. Exit 8 coming from the north from the Manchester area. Open bowling leagues, bowling roll-offs for the television program. 889-4884. There's the number. And Danny is going to be open again. So the door is open. It's going to be about 12 pins. 13 pins, I guess. With 2 boxes remaining. If he makes this pin. He does. A 14-pin lead for Danny Harris with 2 boxes remaining. Vadney needs to double mark for sure. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that's a tough shot. He was off the head pin. And this is not an easy shot. Nope, he's not going to make it, and he's going to run out of time. Danny Harris will advance. Look at this for a 9 box, almost a 10 box. 91 for Steve Vadney. Nope, Steve couldn't buy a break in the last few boxes. He had a couple of chances, but not able to convert. And a 6 box to close out and a 97 third string for Steve Vadney. Danny Harris. Well, it's 1 pin separating right now. Vadney has a 1-pin lead, and now it is over as Danny Harris puts 4 on the board with the first ball. So Danny Harris will win and will advance to the finals against Chris Sargent next week. $7 bucks for Danny. He's at 107.
I hadn't mentioned this earlier, but so far this year, as of today's taping in early March, Danny Harris leads all WCBC bowlers in the rookie department this year, all the new bowlers, by 59 pins. That's simply figured by adding all the pins by all the rookie bowlers this year. And if he continues on, he will be the rookie of the year for the season.
Danny will finish with a mark. 117 plus a ball. He's at 373 plus whatever he gets on this last ball to fill the spare. And it will be a 6 and a 123 third string and a 3-string total of 379 to Steve Vadney's 357. Danny Harris will advance to take on Chris Sargent for the ladder championship and a berth in the Tournament of Champions at the end of the year. We'll come back to talk to our bowlers when we return to Leda. A couple of weeks ago, Michael and I had the opportunity to participate in the annual Rockin' Bowl at Pilgrim Lanes in Haverhill, a fundraising event that enables a bunch of kids from Pilgrim to make a trek up to Canada.
And I'll tell you what, we had several hundred people on board, and the nice thing is the fans get a chance to bowl with some of the pros they watch on our show every week. Some of the people you see right there, it's terrific. Had a great time, Jeff Bagia. I'll tell you, we saw Bart Medeiros just a moment ago, and there's one of our younger bowlers who knows, we'll see him on the show someday.
Gary Carrington will be in the Tournament of Champions coming up.
That's right.
Bobby Whitcomb also in the Tournament of Champions.
That's it.
Some of the great bowlers, the great Candlepin bowlers, on their own time come to this event every year and work with the kids. There's Bart Medeiros.
Great coach.
Hall of Famer.
And the beginning in a couple of weeks, folks will get to watch the match that you and I had, the grudge match, 4th annual. And we can't tip our hands as to how that finished, but you'll find out very shortly. I don't think you'd want me to spill the beans, would you?
Not yet. Not at this point. It's not for as long as I possibly can.
Okay.
Steve Vadney joins us, runner-up here this afternoon. Steve, we'll give you the check, the runner-up check for $550. It's been a pretty good 3-week run for you. You had $100 in bonus money the first week, $250 the last week, another $100 this afternoon, but all good things must come to an end.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed a couple of key shots, but Danny bowled well all day, and I had, in the last string when I threw a strike and I had the 3 pins, I had a wood. I wanted to slice the wood, but, and then I had visions of maybe going by the wood and taking a 3, and I think I got caught in the middle and hit the cap, and that could have been a big turnaround for the, I think it was only about 5 or 6 pins.
We can all relate to that, being betwixt and between, deciding to go whether to the right or to the left or whichever to go after, and then in the last minute, you don't remember which one you went after. You just kind of let it fly. You've been on TV 100 times. Danny's an up-and-comer, not as frequently under the lights. I think I probably asked you this before, but having been on TV as often as you have, do you feel comfortable right from the beginning, or are there still butterflies at the start?
Yeah. You still get them out of the gate, coming out of the gate. After you get a couple of boxes, and then it's like old hat, you know. But you know, we had some good matches in the last 3 weeks, and you know, when you get down to the final 2 and you're sitting there waiting, hoping that the other guy doesn't get a mark, it's still there, you know.
How do you feel about some of these younger guys? I mean, Danny Harris, 19 years old, a lot of poise for somebody who's still a teenager. Do you think you had that much poise back when you were a little bit younger?
Not at his age, because I really didn't get into Candlepin bowling until a little later in life, but those are the kind of guys we want to see coming up. He's on my world team this year, so go get him, Danny, you know.
All right, explain one thing for me. You've been around the game a long time. How does a guy go from 439 one week to 357 the next week? It's a crazy game, this game of Candlepin bowling. People think it looks easy every time you get out there. You're going to bowl 400. Just doesn't happen that way.
No, I think it's the lunch break.
Is that what it is, huh? And what did you have for lunch, Steve?
Whatever I had, I shouldn't have had. 2 hot dogs. I couldn't bend afterwards.
Steve, thanks very much. Congratulations, Steve. Nice to see you. Steve Vadney, a great competitor, a great bowler, and a runner-up here this afternoon. And now Danny Harris will do the bonus ball contest, and we'll try to hook him up with a winner at home. And Danny Harris on lane 33 rather. And it is an 8. I think we had an 8 last week, and we had a winner. I think we have $10 in the kitty, and let's see if we can draw one out of there, Michael.
Hopefully all the
Michael stirs them all around and stirs them all around, and this is from Mrs. Rose Maloney from Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Guess what? She had an 8.
All right, another winner. Yeah.
$10. So Rose is the winner. And Danny Harris will bring Danny right up and get him right between us. Congratulations to Danny Harris. Another win for Danny with $379 and $150 in bonus money. And 19 years old, the TV lights don't seem to bother you at all. You get out there and start throwing that ball.
Yeah, they're hot, but you just work it off, you know, going through the match, especially when you get the crowd with you, you know. Feels good.
Now, you've been on TV a few times. You were on a full-week run with us before. You've been on other TV shows. Are you feeling comfortable when you get out there now? Is it, you know, like the butterflies go away quicker than they did the first time around?
Yeah, they certainly do. They just go up there after, like, the 4th box. You just settle in, you know, especially when you throw a mark. It calms you down a lot quicker, you know.
It took you a while in that first string to get that first mark.
Yeah, it certainly did. I don't know. I was hitting the head pin. It just wasn't getting the breaks, you know.
There's a lot of great bowlers, especially in the North Shore of Boston. We don't know too much about some of the guys in Dorchester. Are there any other young fellows we should be aware of that you bowl with that are coming up?
Hopefully, I have one friend. He's 17, but he can't come up here right now. But next year, hopefully I can get him up here, you know. And another friend of mine, my best friend, hopefully he can come up here next year and start bowling up here for the TV finals up here.
Well, you're on the Pro Tour this year, and now at the time this is being taped, we're in early March, so by the time this is seen, folks are watching it today, the final tournament will have been bowled in the WCBC. As of this date, before the final tournament, you were the leading rookie, correct?
Yes, I'm up 59 pins on Paul Barassa.
Pretty competitive, even just among you young guys, right, to see who gets that rookie award.
Yeah, it is. It certainly is.
Well, Danny, you're going to be in the championship match for the ladder and looking for a spot in the Tournament of Champions, and we'll look forward to seeing you again. Danny Harris,
Danny.
our winner here this afternoon, 379 to 357 over Steve Vadney and up the ladder to the top of the rung.
I'll tell you what, the only man that beat him last year was Tom Olston. Now only Chris Sargent stands in the way of getting him to the big Tournament of Champions.
And we'll look forward to seeing you next week as well as we put our final participant in the Tournament of Champions. Will it be Danny Harris? Will it be Chris Sargent? You'll have to watch next week to find out. For Mike Morin and our entire crew from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, I'm Dick Lutz. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And as our friends at Leda Lanes always like to remind you,